Welcome to TigerComp. This is tutorial for Word 7. Word 7 is all about using tables, and we're going to go through how to create a basic table. And so we're going to work through one of them together in this video, and then your assignment will be to create a second table using the skills that you have learned in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, what is a table? A table is a simple grid of columns and rows. Very, very important. They're great for creating lists, arranging data. As you get higher into sciences and mathematics and really just life, there's lots of really great applications for tables. You could even consider your planner to be a table because of how it arranges the information. All right, so step one. Step one, we want to make sure, I'm going to turn on symbols just so you can see what is going on. Got to click it. All right, so I left one space there because it's very, very important to do this because it can be very difficult to go back into your document and add more text. Let's say I create a table and then I want to go back and add a title to my sheet or anything like that. That's not in the table. It can be really hard to do if you don't leave that space there. So it's a great practice just to leave a space before you create an initial table. All right, to insert a table, we're going to go to Insert, we're going to go to Table, and when you get this nice pull-down menu. And we're going to go a 2x4, 2 columns, 4 rows, and this is what we're going to do on this page. So go ahead and click that. And suddenly we have this wonderful looking thing, and you might be saying, I don't have those stars, I don't have that. And if I get rid of that stuff now, since we don't need to see it, we can see everything that's going on here. Now you also notice that you have these 2 new tabs up here. Your design tab, your layout tab suddenly appear, and you're able to do things to use this. The other thing you can notice is your ruler has been adjusted like this, right? If you remember this look, this appears when you do columns and different things like that. And so here's another way to, technically I guess you could do columns in this way, though I wouldn't say it's the most applicable way to do it. Alright? But this tells us the length, the width of our column cells. Alright? And so we could go here and I could start changing our sizes. You can tell by the tutorial that the first table we're going to be creating is much, much smaller than what we have here in front of us. Okay? But the other way to go about changing things is to go over your table, make sure you have it, and you're going to right click, and we're going to go to Table Properties. Okay. You get this nice pull up, and we're able to really make a lot of changes here as we work with this. All right. So you see lots of different options. This is how the information is going to appear: left, right, center. All right. Got information on rows. Now what we want to go to is we want to go to the cells column, because right now we have the size of our cells. It's all fits within this preferred width, which is that 3.18, which basically stretches the whole width of the page, and we don't need that much space to create the table that we want. And so the first thing we have to do is we're going to have to click that box so we can modify this ourselves, and we're going to go down to 0.4 for our table, and then we can click OK. And now we have this nice little table, and I'm going to type in this information real quick, and you can do the same thing as you are listening, or you can pause the video as I'm about to move on. Okay. And of course, tables really work the same as anything else. I can change my fonts and make things different sizes. Right? I can also go ahead and center all my information so it's nice and neat in rows. All right? And well, I'm going to leave it left aligned in this case. Now, as you're looking at yours and as you're looking at the tutorial, you'll probably notice that there's a whole lot more lines than the T table that is created as our final product. So tables not only hold information, but there's a lot of features where you can go in and you can change how your table looks. You can change the borders, you can change, we already talked about the cell size, how to do that, but we can really make a really neat appearance when it comes to working with all of this stuff. Right? So let's go ahead and try some of these different things. Right? So if I click right here in the cell and I go right click, and we got our different options right here. We're looking for borders and shading. Let's see if we can get that to come up. Alright, if you were in 2010, there should be an option that says borders and shading. It looks like 2013 changed that. You can go to your your quick list here and change your borders that way, but we really want the full menu to really understand this. And so to do that, we need to go up here. If you're on the Home tab, we want to go to the Design tab, and in the right corner over here, we got this Borders and Shading menu. And this is really what we want to be working in. It really becomes a great way to approach this. Now, just a quick look at what this is showing us. First of all, you have some generic settings that describe how you want everything to look, right? This is focusing on borders. You got your different line styles and the different types of lines you can put in there. You can change the colors right here. You can change the width of the lines. And then you have what's called the preview, which allows you to start clicking on different things and actually change the lines and what's highlighted and what's not highlighted. And then you have your apply to section, which goes into, do you want it to do everything? Do you want it to do the entire table? Do you want it to do the cell? We're going to focus on one cell at a time for ours. And now we can really start working with this idea. Right? So this is what we want to do. We're on the cell. Let's make sure we're on the right cell, right? We're on the cell that says X, and we're going to focus on just that cell. And so this is the cell that says X. Now, if I'm looking at the picture, right, I don't want a line here, and I don't want a line here. And if I click OK, they're gone. Right? So if I go to the Y, right, and I can go here. Borders and shading. Oh, here's border and shading. They moved it to our quick menu. That's why I couldn't find it. Moved it to that little pop-up menu that comes up. Anyway, now we're at the Y, and it's showing the whole table. So if I want to go just that cell, it's remembering what you did last time, but of course that's not what we want for the Y cell. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oops, got to change one. And go like this. That's not what I want. Right click, focus the shading, and let's try that. There we go. Okay. Now you can also do this to obviously a larger group, right? So I can select a larger section. Right? But now we got to really think about this as a larger section. Even though it only shows 4 cells here, I'm dealing with 6 cells. Right? I have 6 cells highlighted. Right? The 3, the 8, the 6, the 14, the 9, and the 20. And so when I think about this, right? If I get rid of this line here, it's going to get rid of this entire line right here. Right? If I get rid of the bottom line, it's only going to do this bottom line right here. It's not going to do these lines right here, okay? But if I do this one, that's the in-between lines, and then I can click this one, and it should take everything, but it should leave this black line up here, because that would represent this top line right there. Let's see if it worked. Voila, things are going pretty good, right? we've successfully created a table that looks like the first table that we started with. We are going to go ahead and select it all. You can still kind of see how the cells still fit there. I'm going to center align it now and make it look a little neater. And for this table, we're done. All right, when you get your XY table, this is also known as a T table. We use this all the time in different levels of math, different levels of science. Really, it's things you've been doing for a long time, but you've just never seen it represented this way before. All right. If I go back to our menu here, that borders and shading menu, we talked about borders. That was the first part of the focus, but in the second part of the tutorial, you're going to have to work with shading also. And so you can go in here and you can choose the different colors of shading, 5, 15, 25, and you're able to use these different colors when it comes to shading different cells. So if I wanted to click a cell, right, or the entire table, I just made it gray. I'm going to click undo because I don't want that there. Right? Okay, your assignment now is to go back and to recreate the second table, table number 2. All right, so here is the picture of the tutorial itself, and it's telling you what you need to do. So this time you're going to start by creating a 4x4 table, right, using these properties. Okay, so it's a 4x4 table, and then all the directions are here, right? Where it talks about bolding the text in the top row, right? Getting rid of these border lines, right? Single line border right here with that heavier weight, right? 2.25 points. That's the weight. Here you have a double line border with 0.5 going around the entire thing. You have a couple names. You're going to put in these numbers. That's the easy part. Right, you have a cell width of 1.15, single lines, 0.5 weight here, and then this one cell for Courtney Cox, you're going to have the shading gray 15% for the shading. So in general, as you're working through this, right, after you have inserted your table, right, your 4 by, let's see if I can actually insert one, right? Your 4x4 table, it's 4x4 table. Now you're going to go into all your different options, right? So you're going to right click and go to table properties. That's how you're going to change all your sizes, right? And then you're going to go to your design. You either go here for your borders and shading, changing the borders, changing your shading, or of course you can right click and you get this little pop-up menu here, and you go here to get to that same menu. So these are the things that are going to guide you in Word 7 as you build this table and work with this. All right, this is step 1 of tables. Next time we're going to do advanced tables. And we're going to learn more about some of these other things that you're seeing up here in these menus. We're really going to look at how to insert things, how to merge cells, split cells, distributing things. And we're going to work with that stuff next time. So you get a really good understanding of how to build tables within Word. Alright, that is the end of this tutorial. Have a like that. Pursue excellence. Try it hard.